Hey, what's up guys? My name's Hayden Crabtree. I'm here today to tell you about why house flipping is a scam and what you should be doing instead. Now, to start this off, I need to tell you I'm a commercial real estate investor. I think there's a big difference between being an investor and being a house flipper. I wrote a whole book on this. I go into great detail on why house flipping is much different from real estate investing. And simply put, the goal of house flipping is to get one-time money, to get income one time, to put money into a property and pull money out when you sell it. What professional real estate investors do is they want to put money into a property one time, or they want to figure out how to put no money into a property and still own it, and they want to make money off of that property every single month for the rest of their life. And that's where wealth comes from. That's where, when we talk about cash flow, we're talking about money that comes in every single month. So I'm going to go into why I think house flipping is a scam real quick. And first thing we're going to start off with, we're going to define what an asset is. Now, an asset in accounting is a lot different than what I think an asset is. If you have a piece of jewelry that has a worth, that could be an asset. But to me, an asset, the way I think about it, we'll draw a house here. An asset is something, let's say this is me. An asset is something not that I own, but an asset is something that pays me every single month. So whenever I'm going to buy a rental property, I want that rental property to pay me every single month. And here's how a rental property works. We have income from rents. So income from rents. And then we're going to subtract out our expenses. So we're going to pay things like property taxes, whatever it may be. And what we're going to get, our income minus our expenses, is going to equal our profit or cash flow. Okay, so whenever we're buying rental property, what we're doing is we're trying to acquire assets that will pay us money each and every single month. And our goal is not to make a profit one time, it's to have our rents, which come in every single month, pay us for the rest of our life. Now, when we compare this method to house flipping is essentially no different than, let's say I were to buy a watch. Let's say I were to buy a Rolex, and I bought the Rolex for $5,000. And then I turn around the next week and I sell the Rolex to somebody else for, say, $6,000. I made a profit of $1,000, okay? And that's exactly what we're doing with house flipping. If I buy a house for $100,000, let's say I put another $20,000 into it, and I now have $120,000 into that house. And let's say my goal is to turn around and sell it for $150,000 for a $30,000 profit. Now, that's not bad, but let's talk about what the difference is, okay? So again, if I have this house, there's two things I can do with it. I can either put money into it to flip it. So I can put money into it in hopes that in the future it'll pay me $30,000. Or I can put money into it and I can rent that property out to some people, and they pay me, call it $1,000 a month. And let's say I have to pay $200 of expenses. Let's say I make $800 a month, okay? So compare these two methods. With the same product, I can either flip this house or I can buy this house and I can rent it out. One time I get paid $30,000 one time. The other way, I get paid $800 a month for the rest of my life. That is going to come out to $9,600 a year. And if we look at $30,000 versus the $9,600, it's only going to take us about 3 years to make up the difference. You know, the first year will be 20,000 short, the second year will be 10,000 short, the third year will be at the 30,000, and then forever on throughout the rest of my life, I'm going to continue to make this $9,600 off this property every single year. Okay, so while 30,000 may look good at first, in a matter of 3 years, you've already made up that spread, and you're going to keep making up that spread. Now, this difference is great, and it makes rentals look a lot better than house flipping. But another one of the reasons that we really want to get into this is that we are incentivized as landlords and as property owners to keep rentals instead of flips by the government because they want us to own housing. The government gives us great tax benefits for owning rental properties, and that's good because we get to take advantage of those tax benefits on every single rental property that we own. I mean, they don't care if we flip houses or not, but they want us to own rental property because if we own that rental property, they're going to give us tax benefits. So investing, you get tax benefits. there are two major tax benefits that you need to know of. One is called depreciation. Depreciation essentially says if we buy that house and we have $100,000 into it, we're going to get to take that $100,000 and use it as a tax shield on $100,000 of our income. And that's how people like Donald Trump or these ultra wealthy people who don't pay any taxes, they use real estate tax benefits to shield their income. And you can do the exact same thing if you buy a house and you start to rent it out. You can't do that if you flip a house. If you flip a house, you don't get to take any depreciation on it. Yeah, and then another aspect is that we get to do what's called a 1031, which is where if we buy a rental property, and let's say we buy it for $100,000, and 10 years later we sell it for $200,000. We've made a $100,000 gain. If you do a 1031 exchange, you can take that full $100,000 gain and roll it forward without any taxes at all, and you can buy another rental property that's twice as big. So when you're investing, you get tax benefits. You also get the benefits of debt pay down. So whenever you buy a rental property and you use a bank's money, that income that the tenant's paying you, so that $1,000 that the tenant's paying you, each and every month when you go to make your mortgage payment to the bank, you're not actually paying that. This $1,000 that the tenant's paying in rent is going to pay for that. So let's say you have $200 in expenses and you have a $300 mortgage payment. So what's happening is 1,000 minus 200 minus 300 is 500. So you use the bank's money to buy the property. Your tenant is going to pay your mortgage for you. They're going to pay your expenses for you, like your property taxes, and you're still going to cash flow $500 a month. Okay, you don't get to do that when you're house flipping. And this $300 mortgage payment, let's say you borrowed $100,000 to buy the house. Well, over a 20-year period, that $100,000 is going to go down and down and down and down until in 20 years, when you pay it off down here at $0, you can still own the property, and you just gave yourself a raise because you don't have to pay that mortgage payment anymore. And now your cash flow goes up and you own the property all by yourself. So if you were to sell it, you wouldn't have to pay the bank. And all of that is paid for by your tenant. When you're house flipping, you don't get those benefits. Okay? So as you can see, I think that renting a property is much better than doing a house flip. Another reason that you shouldn't flip houses, or you can flip houses, and here's my true belief, is that you can flip houses, but if you flip houses, that $30,000 you should make, you need to take that money, and instead of buying a BMW or a Mercedes or a vacation, you need to take that $30,000 and you need to put it into rental property. Because whenever you want to escape the rat race, whenever you want to gain financial freedom, you want that money coming in from those rentals so that you can be doing whatever you want. You can be building a business. You can be traveling the world. You can be spending time with your kids. Whatever you want to do, if you have that rental income coming in that covers your monthly expenses, you now have financial freedom. You cannot get financial freedom through house flipping, because in order to make that $30,000, you have to flip a house, flip another house, flip another house. It's this wheel that you constantly have to run on in order to get paid. Okay, so when you're investing in rental properties, you're going to get paid every month as long as that property is rented. And there's more renters in America right now than there ever has been. So flipping houses, one-time money, investing in rental properties, forever money. I hope this helped. I want to invite you guys to get my free book called Skip to Flip that goes into greater detail on this. You can go to haydencrabtree.com/free book. Or I would also like to invite you to come to my Facebook community. Go to haydencrabtree.com/community. We talk about the art of no money down real estate investing. We talk about all sorts and kinds of real estate stuff. Whatever questions you have, bring your questions over. I'll answer them for you. I'd love to have you as part of the community. And I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out videos just like this all the time. I'm on a mission to help 1,000 people buy their first rental property, no matter if you have any money or not. So join me. I want to help you guys out. Let's get to it.